Hello, welcome to this May 2024 edition of Drawing Out the Dreaming. My name is Fiona Owen. This last film is an update. After having lived at the old chapel in Chalford for 35 very happy years and opening our studio and garden every June, we decided to make a big leap and move to South West Cornwall to be near our daughter and her young family. We swapped our Victorian chapel for a new eco-passive house and set about creating a new studio and garden from scratch. It has been very exciting to start again afresh after so many years with a complete blank canvas. Our new studio and my small herb apothecary overlooks the Atlantic Ocean and is filled with ever-changing sea light from dawn to dusk every day. We're perched high above the treetops here, and we have a large rook colony in the ancient grove of sweet chestnuts at the old castle below us. Their social behaviour is our daily entertainment. Our first big garden project was to create a pond for wildlife and to clear all the undergrowth back to our land boundary. The first thing we did was to install 10 water butts to capture the rain from the roof. We used this to fill the pond, as tap water can affect water quality for wildlife. We also inherited a healthy colony of rabbits, and as I don't use chemicals, I made a garlic spray to discourage them from eating all my plants. So far it seems to be working. As we were starting from scratch, I decided to use the no-dig method to plant up my new borders. Luckily I had lots of cardboard boxes from our move, which I laid down over time on the grass and then covered with a thick layer of compost. I'd brought many of my favourite plants that had been given to me by friends over many years, and also lots of cuttings from our chapel garden. I'd planted them all up in biodegradable felt bags, and they seemed happy enough to sit in these until I was ready to plant in the spring last year. I decided to plant our new garden in stages, working outward slowly from the pond. Everything looked so small when I first planted it, but I do know from long experience how quickly plants fill out and weave together. The only plants we inherited here were 2 pine trees, a lovely tree fern, a trachycarpus, and 2 hydrangeas. John did the heavy work barrowing tons of shingle to line the pond. Then he built all the wooden frames for the borders, and we must have barrowed 100+ loads of compost onto the cardboard and started planting up all my treasured plants. By last summer, the pond borders were planted up, and some veggie beds on the upper terrace. The climate is very different here from our green Gloucestershire Valley. We live in a ribbon of land that shares the same climate as the Scilly Isles, so I've been able to try out new plants. We're lucky that there's a small local nursery in the next lane from us, and it specialises in subtropical seaside plants. It's been run for over 30 years by the same couple, and they're very knowledgeable and helpful. I've planted up our lower terraces with herbs and subtropical plants. It's the most sheltered area of the garden. But plants don't seem to stop growing here in winter as frost is rare, so everything's grown at a faster pace than I'm used to. My herb garden is particularly important to me. I make lotions and potions from everything I grow there, and I try to grow everything that I draw and paint. After planting up the lower terraces, which is still a work in progress, we decided to tackle the rotten old lookout deck at the very top corner of our land. Apparently there was once a cabin on it, but it's long gone now. John tackled it last May, and now it's our favourite place for eating out in summer. He had to start again from scratch. There's a good sunset view from there, and we've added our fire pit and even a small fridge to it now. It's become a lovely space for large family gatherings. The next thing I did was to plant up a rose and peony border surrounding the base of the deck, and hopefully in time this will add scent to summer evenings. So far I've planted 20 David Austin roses and several herbaceous and intersectional peonies, all underplanted with salvias. They give off a scent that discourages pests. I spray everything with garlic once a week. We have deer in the woods beyond our boundary as well as the hungry rabbits. This spring, John and I made a display table on our veranda outside our sitting room for spring bulbs followed by summer alpines and scented nemesia, and it gives us great pleasure looking out of the window on a rainy day to soak up some colour therapy. A large tree fell in the night of a big storm last March. We were fortunate how little damage it did. It was traumatic, missing the house by a few inches, but luckily our local tree surgeon came the very next day to clear it. The silver lining is it gave us an unexpected opportunity to create a new Mediterranean border, still in progress. The last part of the garden that we planted up is along our woodland boundary. One side is a wild bank, full of campion and foxgloves and plenty of nettles and buddleia for the butterflies. It completes a circular walk around the perimeter of the garden. Last June, John built me an auricular theatre as a lovely surprise for my birthday. It's tucked away in a sheltered spot away from too much wind and sunshine. For the past 2 years, I've been working towards a one-woman exhibition to be held this June at the museum in the park at Stroud. It's entitled Materia Metaphysica, and it represents 10 years of herbal studies. I've been recording the growth of my plants month by month through sketches, and the exhibition will include 9 plant spirit medicine cabinets in which I make vibrational essences and tinctures of the plants that I grow, along with gilded icons of the plants woven with sacred geometry and magical symbolism and their wildlife familiars. Each cabinet has taken many months to complete and has been created with the focused intention of invoking the healing spirit of the plant and the ancient green magic of our land. All the cabinets and illuminations in this upcoming exhibition are intended to be part of Wild Enchantments, the name of our Oracle Guidance deck with accompanying book written by Nathaniel Hughes. It's part of our ongoing Weeds in the Heart project. We've previously had 2 herb books published, Intuitive Herbalism and Weeds in the Heart. The exhibition runs from June the 8th until July the 14th from Tuesday to Sundays. I hope you might be able to visit. There's a beautiful garden at the museum that you can sit in. I wish you a happy and verdant summer, and as always, may the plants be with you.